Namaste, Periyava. Self-help is the best help. Praise and criticism. Today, two different views on the same subject were put forth before me. One was in praise of me, the other was abusive of me. Of course, the abuse was subtle and in a respectable manner. I do not blame them that they abused me. There was something for me to learn and become wise through their abuse. I thus received two different treatments, one praising me and making me feel proud, and the other condemning me and making me see reason. When I talked about social service somewhere long time back, which is published now, what is their objection to my talking about social service? Their objection was that by my overemphasis on social service, I have been responsible for the neglect of self service and service to the family. Although they did not use the word objection and did not quarrel but went crying, they meant objection. I do not remember what I said and when. I do not know what is now being published. I have never thought that anyone should neglect what he needs to do for himself and his family and engage in social service. I will not give such advice also. But during discourses, perhaps I have not laid special emphasis on this aspect. What one does for oneself and his family is natural. It is not necessary for others to talk about it specially. We, the Acharya of Peetams, are there to tell about what is good for the whole society and plan for it and take measures to do that. Because of this, I might have laid stress on social service. It does not mean by this that we have given a secondary place to the individual and the family. I have repeatedly said before that Hindu religion accords the first place only to cleansing the individual. When other religionists criticize that social spirit is not there in our religion, we too should not wrongly think that there is nothing great about our religion and go on the defensive saying, it is not like what you think. See how much has been said in our religion about service to others. That alone is important for us because, truly speaking, the importance to the individual in our religion is more than that to the society. My view is that the high point of our religion is that each one should elevate himself by proper observance of the prescribed religious discipline. It is also my view that our religion continues to throb with life from thousands and thousands of years since even before the other religions appeared, and despite their onslaught and the onslaught of atheism these days, only because of the strength of the disciplines followed by the individuals and the power of their purity. The high point of the religion of the Hindus is the individual leading a pure life according to his swadharma. The high point of Christianity is service to others. The high point of Islam is discipline. This is my view. Generally, except in Hindu religion, people of all religions are very organized. For us, organization is inadequate. Here, the religion lives only by the strength of the individual. It is true that the tapas of the rishis is preserved in the temples as a deposit, as it were, and we draw from it. It is also true that divine blessings are obtained through the murtis. It is true that due to the pujas performed in the temple with mantras, we gain spiritual good. Despite all these, temple worship also is only an ancillary for redeeming ourselves individually and not for the salvation of the community. When a lot of us join together in the temple, and conduct festivals, Kumbhavishekam, etc. And we dedicate a number of things like gold, flowers, food offerings, music, etc. The purpose of all this is different. We are not doing all these in the belief that such joint activity in the temple is the be all and the end all of all our religion, but we do it as a thanksgiving of the community. Does not the community get so many things from the Lord? It is to express the gratitude of the community as a whole. Physical offerings are made through the same things which the Lord has given to the community: clothes, food, etc. That is the purpose of our joint activities in the temple. To attain salvation, it is not enough if one stops with this. There have been those who, by circumambulating the temples, by the grace of the Lord, and becoming one with the murtis in the temple by practicing deep devotion, attained moksha. Even then, that is what they had done for themselves individually. Generally speaking, our religion is that the power we get from the temple is developed by individual observance of religious disciplines. By going to the temple regularly and by praying, one can get the power by which one can observe the religious disciplines without flaw and find salvation. A Westerner who wrote a controversial book asked me, "Why is it that in your temples there is so much sound and noise?" I replied to him like this: "It is not the objective to offer silent prayer in the temple as in churches, Buddha Vihara, and Mass. For us, what is important is meditation in solitude. The temple is not meant for congregational worship. Because the king protects us, we give him a palace, ostentation, decoration, etc. We pay him tax also. In the same manner, it is for the community thanksgiving and making offerings collectively by way of gold, etc., to the Lord, who is the King of the whole world and the protector of all times, that big temples have been constructed and the method of worship has been prescribed. A peaceful atmosphere cannot be expected here. The temple bell, fireworks, music and drums, shouting in joy, etc., will be there. For doing quiet meditation, each home has a puja room. There are also the banks of river and tank. Because I have told him this, it does not mean that people have been given the license to indulge in shouting, idle exchanges, etc. The sounds which have been permitted by the Shastras: ringing the bell, the sound of chanting of Vedas, Devaram, bhajans, music, fireworks, when the Lord's procession starts, etc., are what I have meant. These sounds, which have been approved by the Shastras, have the rare power of inducing one into a state of silent meditation. Even in the midst of such sounds, if we close our eyes for a while or sit before Dakshinamurti to do japam, we will be drawn to it. The high point of Hindu religion is for the individual to purify himself through the observances prescribed for him and by the example of his own life show the path to the others. Except for the time when this is practiced in Gurukulam in his young age and during the years spent in a mutt or ashram as a sannyasi, he has to spend a major part of his time at home as a grahastha. That is why in our Dharma Shastras, a lot of things have been said about his duties for others as grahastha and the duty towards him on the part of his wife, sons, and others. These have been said elaborately and to an extent not said in other religions. Since spiritual development has to take place at home, a lot has been said about grahastha dharma, dharmas for the household. Periyava Sharanam.